Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Neeraj Kainth. I'm the Chief Executive Officer at QuickLaunch. I would like to welcome approximately 35 institutions who have joined in today to hear our exclusive webinar focusing on identity platform, which we're going to be constructing in just 10 minutes. Today's session is going to be hands-on, wherein we're going to show you how can you have your identity and access management platform up and running in just 30 minutes. And again, as institutions, we're maintaining a lot of identity, starting from our student information system to learning management system to Active Directories to our email solution. And again, we're here to provide first-in-class student experience, giving them, as you can see on the dashboard, one-stop access so that they don't have to remember multiple usernames and passwords. At the same time, we are always cognizant about the cost that we are spending on our help desk because we don't want our help desk getting overwhelmed and students are constantly calling for a password reset. And that's typically what happens during back to school days as well. So we're going to focus not just on identity platform, making it up and running in 30 minutes, but also how we are, as QuickLaunch, complementing each one of you, providing first-in-class user experience, and most importantly, streamlining identity and access management at each one of the institutions. So we're going to get started. Next thing that we're going to talk about is who we are. So QuickLaunch was founded in 2003. We are headquarters out of Chicago. Approximately 800 plus colleges that are leveraging the services of QuickLaunch. There are quite a few proud partners starting from D2L, Canvas, Blackboard, and the list continues. And here is what you get to see: partial list of the clients using QuickLaunch services as well. Let's talk about why are we here? What problems are we looking at solving? So when we look at each one of us, we obviously want our enrollments to go up, and we have prospects and applicants who are basically getting registered through your prospect and applicant sites. And once they pay their fee, they become students. Each one of you push them into the student information system, which could be on today's call. We have quite a few schools using Lucian's colleague. We have quite a few schools on Genzabar. We have folks who are using PeopleSoft. I do see one of the schools sitting on Workday as well. So pretty much the journey is that the applicants eventually made it as a student into the student information system. And that's basically where the chaos begins. So each one of you are doing account provisioning into Active Directory. Some of you are having custom scripts. Rather, let me put it this way: most of you are having custom scripts, and some of you have some synchronization tools, which basically pushes that account in Active Directory. Now, most of you are also creating a security concern wherein we end up sending a welcome letter saying, welcome NK to school, and your user ID is NK and your password is ABC123, or at times we say your password is first character, first name, last name, and 4 digits of social. None of that is cool because we're giving them either the password or the magic recipe to construct a password. So that's a problem, and we're going to see today how QuickLaunch can solve that problem for you. And again, you have a registration, you have folks who are handling help desk on the admission side, handling dispatching those welcome letters. So a lot of different constituents involved at the time of account provisioning. Then when they gain network access, they are using student information system, learning management system, email system, either using your existing investments. Some of you have identity providers, or you give them links to these backend applications, and they'll have to log in separately to these applications using either a common username and a password or a different username and password, which makes it further complicated. One fine day, they're not able to log in. Either you have forgot password, or let me put it this way, you have multiple forgot passwords sitting on learning management system, sitting on student information system, sitting on email system, which makes it further complicated. And one fine day, if they're not able to do it, they're going to call help desk, which happens a lot, and they request for a reset, and finally they get a password reset. So again, a lot of chaos. An idea with QuickLaunch is how can we come in and position as part of your identity and access management initiative and make life simple, help you divest from the investments you've made into various platforms and give you a single neck to choke. So we're going to get going on the QuickLaunch product. So we're going to be covering pretty much all the products today. So if we look at the first product, how can we come in and solve the problem of having multiple applications which are disconnected? And I'm going to look at using Colorado Christian University. We do have Renee on the call. Welcome, Renee, to the session. And we're going to look at using Colorado Christian University as an example. So when I go to CCU, what you see is they've got their student information system right here. Note there is no forgot password on this one. Note even the interface is not responsive. Here comes the email solution. Looks like you guys are using Microsoft Exchange on-prem. Again, there is a forgot password on this one, which works differently. And finally, you have a Blackboard learning management system, which is also having a forgot password. What looks like you've done is you have one password reset tool, which goes to apps.ccu and it helps reset. And it just basically prompts the user to provide their username and then help them reset. So at least good job on the password reset. There's one tool, but we have seen institutions, we have few on the call having multiple applications and multiple password resets. But again, the problem here is there are three different systems requesting user to log in separately. So QuickLaunch single sign-on and identity provider's job is to solve that problem, give a one-stop access to all the applications using one username and a password. And then a password manager is going to complement the same and give you one password reset. And password reset can happen using various methods. For example, most of you are still stuck with security questions, which is not that secure. And it is must for each one of you to now deploy tools like multi-factor authentication. So how can we also complement resets using more factors, which makes your reset much more secure? And then when a request comes in, when NK tries to log in from Chicago, and then NK in the next few minutes comes in from California, there's something fishy about that. And we all are going through tremendous amount of DDoS attacks. We're having account being taken over. There are bots scanning our sites and scanning our webs and figuring out the username and locking our accounts. So how can we also empower you with an adaptive authentication module, which uses the backbone of multi-factor authentication? Because why do we need to implement another tool, onboard students to that tool, like a Duo security, if we can just utilize the same multi-factor support at the time of login to any application? So adaptive authentication works really, really well. You have some financial links. You want to make sure that your administrators connecting to financial links, they should always be prompted. Another great use case is you have VPN and you have remote users trying to connect to VPN, and you want to make sure they're being challenged upon to prove who they are at the time of adaptive authentication. So lots of use cases, and again, adaptive comes built in with QuickLaunch products. Next, most important is user self-registration. I think our bread and butter is onboarding students, and we want to make sure the onboarding is as smooth as possible. So going back to the example of sending welcome letters, giving them default passwords or giving them the formula behind default passwords, user self-registration focuses on automating whole 9 yards, which is sending a welcome letter so that you don't have to request your admissions to send welcome letters. It also gives you multiple welcome letters, because what if you're onboarding employees and you want to send a separate welcome letter to them? How can we automate that? And most importantly, how can we not give a default password? Last but not the least, we're going to cover today is automated provisioning, which focuses on automating, as the name says, account creation, starting from your sys to AD, to your emails, to your learning management system, to your library system. And most importantly, automating deprovisioning as well, because most of us, maybe all of us, are not doing complete deprovisioning across all the applications, and it is a must for us to shut the doors down in case users are no longer associated with the institution. So that's basically what we're going to look at building, as I said, in 30 minutes. We're going to take that challenge. Some icing on the cake, Smart Assistant, which basically takes password reset to the next level. And the use case there is, how can I wake up Siri and say, connect me to Colorado Christian University? And in return, I hear back, welcome NK, how can I help you? So identity context is already there because the device from where I made a call request was already integrated, associated with NK. And then I could say, tell me what courses you're teaching at CCU versus I'm not able to log in to my CCU, and it then facilitate a password reset. So quite a few products, basically streamlining identity and access management for each one of you. And what I'm going to do next is let's deep dive into not just a functional demo. Let's build today, take the challenge, CCU in approximately 15 minutes, and then use it. And then, by the way, those who have joined us on the call, you have the ability to now take the platform and use it, test it forever with the self-service ability that we have enabled in our platform. So the services would be available. You'll get a free test environment forever. When you are satisfied, product is matching the need which you have at your institution from identity and security perspective, we can certainly get you onboarded on our production environment as well. So we're going to get going, and what I'm going to do is get you to our website, and all you need to do is go to quicklaunchsso.com, and you can click on Start Free Trial. So when you click on Start Free Trial, you all would get this form, which you'll have to fill. And what I'm going to do is, since we're using Colorado Christian College example, we're going to look at using Renee. So Renee, what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to quickly set you up. And I'm saying you're the president, country is US. I'm just going to put my number right now. And once done, I'm saying my work email is info@ccu.edu. And I'm just going to put a demo there so that I'm building a demo site for you. And that is it. And all I'm doing now is I'm saying I want to start my trial. System says, check your email info. I've just sent you a one-time token, which you would need to first provide to be able to leverage the platform here at QuickLaunch. So I'm just going to look at grabbing that one-time token. And here comes the one-time token. I just got an email which says, welcome, Renee Martin. You're almost there to have your identity and access management platform up and running. and you need to provide the token. So I'm just going to punch that in. So let's provide that. And as soon as I do that, I'm going to hit on verifying. So what you're seeing, I did talk about 6 products today. In less than few seconds, system is now crafting all the products for you. So it is done constructing your environment, and it's saying, let's provide a password for Renee. So I just selected a password for Renee as well, and we are set to rock and roll. So this is what we feel as game changer in identity and access management world, wherein system says, welcome Renee, you're president, you're on a starter plan, which is you can upgrade it at any given point in time. So you do have methods wherein you can also upgrade your platform instead of old school methods of having a customer success manager requesting for an upgrade. This is a true representation of a SaaS implementation. So what you're also seeing is I just added Renee. So system is saying it's already 20% done. Next is let's construct authentication. What that means is how we can point it to your Active Directory, and so that we can provide that authentication as well as authorization. Lots of new features. What we do really well in QuickLaunch, whatever is coming up, you at least get to see that. That way you can plan your budgets, you can plan your migration strategy, so pretty much we can control all that as well for you. So we're going to get started. I'm going to click on Configure Directories. And this, so I just clicked on Configure Active Directory, and it says there are no directories that exist right now, so you got to add a new directory. And it is this simple. All I need to do is fill up the form. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start filling up the form, give a connection name, which is CCUAD. And let me quickly punch in all the details. So starting from providing a service account to the IP address of the Active Directory, to the search filters, to the user containers, to the authentication attributes. I'm just going to provide all that information real quick. And again, like in few seconds, I have that up and running. And beauty of the platform is you get to test it. So instead of just assuming, yes, everything is configured well, system says, yes, connection is established successfully, and you're all set. So now what I can do is finally hit save button. And as soon as I save, I can just start the synchronization of the groups so that I have up-to-date group information about the users as well. Notice the completion is now at 40%, and we're actually 2 minutes in the demo now. So we've just spent 2 minutes. We've got the administration. We've got the user Active Directory integration done. Next, let's go to applications. I see that CCU is using Blackboard as learning management system. So I'm just going to add Blackboard, and they're using Office 365 and Exchange. So I'm just going to take that, and they do have self-service as well. So I'm just going to take self-service. So I just added 3. I'm just going to add School Dude, TMS, and maybe a few more just to show you a bunch of applications. And system says you're 60% done, which is great. Our identity providers support all the bells and whistles. So if you guys are familiar with CAS and SHIB and OpenID, OpenAM, OAuth, we proudly support all the protocols. And we also call our identity platform multi-protocol translator. So starting from being able to download the metadata, certificates, everything is available. And with one click, I can start configuring the applications as well. So we're going to continue. Applications have been added. And this is where we might spend a little more time today. So I'm at the branding section, and I have quite a few options. And I'm saying, let's go with contemporary. And in the contemporary view, I want to first upload a background image. So in preparation towards this meeting, for CCU, I got a background image created. So I have the background image. So one change done. Can we have multiple images? Yes. Can we put a video behind it? Absolutely yes. So there are lots and lots of options available. And again, like if you feel design needs are not suited, you need something else, we're always here to take your requirement and make it available as part of one of the drop-down options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I'm disabling the header on top. I don't need that. And I'm going to upload a logo as well. So here comes, there's no longer a header. I've uploaded the logo. I could also link it with http://.ccu.edu. So I can also provide the URL for the logo. Pretty simple. That way I can link it up with the website. So again, two changes done. And now what I can do is I can work towards making this form pretty. And what I've also done is I've taken a note of CCU's website and the colors. So what I'm going to do is let's look at configuring this real quick. So I just clicked on the form, and what I'm saying is with 3 clicks, I need all the bells and whistles of password reset. So here comes forgot password. You can call it whatever you want. Forgot username, and then I have first time users. So three settings done. They've started appearing, as you can see, and I'm saying that's good for now. I'm going to save that change. So on the pre-login, we've done quite a few changes. I can also go here, and what I can do is upload a logo just to make it look a little pretty. I can just put a logo here, which will start appearing as well. So I'm just going to click on upload logo and put that back in there. And here comes the logo. I forgot to click on upload before, and that's it. We're done. So at this point in time, we have like the pre-login set. We're going to go to post-login, and in the post-login, I'm going to change the theme, and here comes the new theme. I just updated that, and what I want to do now is change the colors. So I'm just going to go to the colors and change the colors real quick. So here comes the color that I've updated. I'm going to submit that. Once that's done, let's change the logo as well to this white logo. Done. And that change is propagated as well. On the display options, I'm going to change the colors yet again, hit submit, we're set. And again, like if we want to change the footer, we can change the footer options, no problem there at all. But this time we are at 80%. Branding is done, pre-login, post-login, both. And let's get to the final step, which is setting up the security, which is most important for each one of us here. So I'm going to start with setting up multi-factors. I mentioned that multi-factor typically is leveraged for both password reset as well as adaptive authentication. So what you would see here is we have quite a few factors, starting from security questions to email to phone to YubiKey. And let's look at spending 2 minutes quickly enabling them. So security questions are already enabled. If some of you do not like security questions, you can with one click disable. How many questions should user be filling in when they log in for the first time? How many should be used to validate who they are? What are these questions? Where's the pool? So pretty much you can add from the default pool, or let's say at CCU, they have policies and they already have their existing question bank. They can pretty much piggyback on the same as well. So again, like few seconds, my questions are set. Email. How many emails do you want? Let's say we're just looking at for now enable primary. And I'm saying I'm going to read that from Active Directory, and I want users to be able to update that. Done. My emails are set. Phone. I'm going to repeat the same thing. I'm enabling it. I want to use True SMS, which, by the way, is included with the product. You would not have to pay extras to avail that. And I'm saying my phone is, again, in AD. Or if you don't have any of that in Active Directory, we can just consume that, request that on the fly from the users when they log in for the first time. So I'm done configuring 3. YubiKey is the most simplest. Click and it's set. You just need to buy your own YubiKeys and you can define like who should be having access for the YubiKeys using the groups, and you're pretty much set. So what I've done is my multi-factor is set. Now it's time to configure the policies which uses these factors. So I'm saying I need a new policy for password reset, and the policy is actually for the students. And the group coming out of Active Directory is 2. I'm enabling it, and I'm saying that I need my students to have questions required. Everything else is optional. Save. So that policy is created. Let's repeat. Create a policy for staff, and this time do it a little differently. We're saying, staff, let's make everything optional. Point is, this is all role-based. You can define the policies at your convenience depending upon your institutional security. So these are the policies which we've just configured for going through a password reset. What about logins? So let's now protect our logins. So I'm going to go to single sign-on, click on enable multi-factor authentication at single sign-on level. I'm going to click on add policies again. And this time you see that I have more options. Is it never? Is it always? Is it suspicious activities? And one of the good examples I take here is if you have a financial link under your student information system and you feel like all the users should always be proving who they are when they click on that link, you could make it at every login, or you could just put it at suspicious activities so that in case if there's any suspicion, device change, time zone change, geolocation change, you only want to then trigger it there. Another few things that you can do is, since we know students hop into the computer labs from one machine to another, which would result in suspicion, you could also whitelist your institutional IP addresses so that when they come in from different machines, from the IP addresses of the institution, they're already trusted. So we don't have to then force another policy for them. So let's get going. I'm going to create this policy at every login for staff, and I'm enabling it. The group is staff, and I'm saying for staff, if there is suspicion, I'm going to give everything optional. But if I click on suspicion, look at the change. System is saying, what are your methods for suspecting users? You could also click on custom and even figure out like what methods are we supporting right now. So we can go as deep as even the hardware concurrency or a screen resolution, but I'm for now just going to go with the recommended options. So I've saved the policy. I'm going to repeat that once again, create a new policy for students. So I do have now a staff policy. I'm going to click on add a new policy, and let's do it for students. And my group is coming from Active Directory as student. And I'm saying my factors are optional, 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 and we don't want to do YubiKeys for student. And I'm again going with recommended option. And I'm saving that. So done. So pretty much my security is all constructed. The only thing which I've not done is what happens when the users log in for the first time. So that's the only item that I've not done, which we're going to be now showcasing. So I'm going to go back to setting up security, click on user self-registration, and I'm saying I'm enabling multi-factor for brand new users, and they'll be requested to provide their username. So you can So what we're going to do is I just enable multi-factor for the first-time users, and I'm saying that okay, when the user comes in for the first time, they should be prompted with what is your username, which is pretty obvious because with the welcome letters, we're any which ways giving them the username, and this time the trick is we don't want to give them passwords. So system says what is your username, and I'm just going to test. This user that I've created, which is Renee Martin. I've created R Martin, and what I'm going to do is save it. So my settings are saved, and the product is ready, guys. So we literally spend like 20 minutes. We have the product up and running, and now system says launch. So again, the beauty is if you're in the test side of the house, you can just launch it. System has given you even a name on your own, and eventually, when you like the product, you would want to basically leverage the product at its full capacity, and you expect that the system should give you your own name, which could be like sso.ccu.edu. We do support all the branding features there. So here comes CCU. What that means is if we go back to the drawing board where we started, CCU is no longer going to need these sites. We're going to shut the links off the web. They'll basically just have a link here, which could be, again, my CCU. So here comes Colorado Christian University pre-login page. And the story now is I just created Renee's user in my student information system, and QuickLaunch automated provisioned that account. Ended up sending a welcome letter welcoming Renee to CCU, and Renee also got the user ID as R Martin, and it had a link which stated click here to get going. So that click basically brings you here. This is truly your first interaction at CCU, and I'm saying I'm Renee Martin, and system immediately recognize and says, hey, I know you from your personal email. By the way, I just sent you a welcome letter. Would you want to use that? Icing on the cake could be if you also have phone numbers, we can leverage phone numbers as well. So I'm saying let's use SMS. And as soon as I clicked on SMS, system is going to send a one-time token on my cell phone, which I just got. And what is now happening is for the first time, I'm being given the opportunity to create my password. So I'm no longer getting a default password. I am self-creating my password. So I'm done self-creating my password. System says click here to rock and roll. And again, I'm back on the login page. So this is the first time I have my password, and I'm going to be logging in to the site. Upon successful login, system recognize that this is my first login, and it is saying, if you all remember, we ended up defining required for the questions. System is saying, hey, Renee, you can use the platform, but you got to complete your profile. And again, we've done higher education really well. We understand like onboarding cannot happen in silo. Nobody would provide their profile information. It's pretty important for us to collect that information day one. So on the first login, I'm saying, give me your security questions. Here is your email. Would you want to update it? Here's your phone number. Would you want to update it? And I'm done. So if when we introduce more factors, they can pretty much enable those factors using the profile menu, and you as a user can always return to my account settings as well. So folks, finally, here comes the wall of icon, and with the clicks, you can start launching these applications. These applications are obviously role-based, so if you're a student, let's say you should not be seeing TMS, you can hide that. You could also promote deep links. So if you're looking at putting a link which goes to grade section within Blackboard or registration section within your Ellucian's banner, PeopleSoft, WebAdvisor, colleague, Genzabor, you could do that as well. So that's a quick glimpse in regards with setting my profile, logging in for the first time, and getting to see all the applications available instead of having to go through and basically logging into multiple applications separately. Let's look at some other cool features. We do have forgot password. So when I click on forgot password, system is saying, can I have your user ID? And I'm saying, I'm Renee. And what you now see is system is saying, Renee, you need to answer a bunch of security questions and pick one more factor. Now, what you saw me going through is a complete representation of a true two-factor system. But if you feel that's too much and you want to go a little lighter on students, give them one of the options to pick in from. It's just a configuration. You can just let them go through all three options as optional, and they'll be able to basically pick one of the factors to check themselves out for a password reset. So folks, what I'm going to do next is you saw me going through password reset, and I used multi-factor, which is pretty awesome. So folks, what we're going to do next is you saw me doing a password reset using multiple factors. And what I'm going to do next is, as you can see, I have an incognito window open just to pretend it's a new machine from where I'm coming in. So I'm just going to put the URL for the environment that we've created for CCU. It brings me back yet again to the same login page, and I'm saying I'm or Martin, and I'm providing the same password. And what you would see is system wakes up, identify a pretty decent risk score because the thumbprints of the machines have not met, and it's now saying, I see that the password is correct, but you got to prove who you are again. So at this point in time, imagine I was coming in from a different country, geolocation, machine. There could be a behavioral factor change, the time that I've never logged in. All those factors which results in a suspicion would make this user go through additional security verification. So again, this is pretty well done. You basically get to make sure that you're not giving access to all the suspicious activities, and that's going to absolutely protect your institution from accounts being taken over, or even for that matter, DDoS trying to originate from a particular location. So that's pretty well done. Another quick example that I want to take is, let's say we have a smart user who's saying, I'm not even going to sso.ccu, and I'm going to go straight to microsoftonline.com. So it's a smart user, done the bookmark. It could be even they're trying to go to banner system, and they're putting in the username. So as soon as they do that, remember, we started with one-stop login. System wakes up and recognize that the application is federated, and I need to now log in again from QuickLaunch login page. So I'm just going to put the username and the password and try to log in. And what you would see is, since I'm coming in again from an incognito window, again, my authentication is blocked. So the point that I'm trying to make is you would not have to implement multi-factor at different application level. You'll just have to do it once, and you're pretty much set. So folks, that's basically what we wanted to cover from an end user interface standpoint. What I'm going to do is quickly take you through the reporting side of the house. That way you get to see what are the reports available with QuickLaunch. And I'll also show you a quick sneak peek into the provisioning reports. So when it comes to reporting, there's a lot which is happening with QuickLaunch. So starting from being able to see who has logged in currently, from where they have logged in, there's a lot which is available with the product. So what I'm going to do is share my screen, and what you see is the reporting console, which talks about what are the access points from where the request is coming in. This is big, because if you're seeing like requests coming in from Russia and you know like nobody's going to log in from there, you might want to block that city, state, country. Who's currently active? How many total users have ever come in and used the platform? What are the applications? What is the access to those applications by group, by individual, what are the browsers being used, most importantly, password reset. Are students, users being able to reset their passwords on their own, or they're still calling help desk a lot? What are the factors they're using to get in? Most importantly, if you have a security issue which is rising up and you would want to triage what has happened, you could also see like Nicholas logged in last time from where, and most importantly, what has been the sign-in history and what methods did the user use to get in. So again, pretty well done. Lots of report. We understand that it's pretty important at times to identify users coming from what particular locations and accessing what particular applications. So we've got that all for you covered with QuickLaunch. So folks, that's basically what we wanted to cover. We saw identity in action. We were able to construct CCU in less than 20 minutes. And again, like all of you can just go to our website, start creating your test environments, and we've tried bringing the numbers really, really low. When you compare QuickLaunch with any other product in the market, firstly, there is nobody whom we are competing with, because we're a mix of like 4 different products, starting from Duo to SailPoint to Okta to OneLogin. If you merge all of them together, you'll get QuickLaunch. And again, our focus has been for higher education by higher education. So we have a very specific mission, and our cost proudly is almost 1/10 of what Okta's and OneLogins provide in the market. And we'll be happy to meet with each one of you, talk about the cost and talk about how we can take things forward and help you upgrade your identity and access management engagement at each one of your institutions. Most importantly, folks, we don't believe in floating cost. We like giving you a one number which stays same throughout the year. The professional services is pre-included. Why do we need to charge you for that if you can construct the environment in 20 minutes? And support is pre-included, and we only provide premium support 24/7, because identity at the end of the day, we cannot take it easy, and we got to be keeping the lights on 24/7. So folks, that's basically what we wanted to cover. I would want to thank each one of you for taking out time and joining this webinar. And what we're going to do is open up the webinar for questions and answers at this point in time. So we're going to open up for the questions. Feel free to put your questions in the questions pane, which you can locate from the control panel of GoToMeeting. And we're going to start answering your questions shortly. So folks, at this point in time, I would request you to go through the questions pane and start putting your questions. Thank you. So we do have a first question, which talks about, can we do even learning management system provisioning? The question is from a school that are using Desire to Learn. So the answer is yes, we can provide you with even learning management system provisioning. We're not at all limited to doing provisioning from just student information system to Active Directory. We can absolutely do your learning management system provisioning. And as I'm talking, I'm trying to navigate to one of our schools, National Louis University, to show you what we have done specifically for Desire to Learn. And then obviously we have that available for Canvas and for lots of other learning management systems. So yeah, starting from SIS to Active Directory to learning management system to Office 365 and Google, QuickLaunch can take ownership of basically provisioning all the accounts for you. And I'm trying to pull the example up. I thought it'll be good to show that to you. So what you see now on the screen is National Louis in production with enrollments for students, instructor, user creation, course creation, the cross-listing, unenrollment. There's a lot going on. So we can basically cover all the scenarios for you. I hope that answers your question. The next question that we have is, when I say password reset, is QuickLaunch storing passwords? So the answer is no, we're not in the business of storing passwords at all. We like you all keeping the passwords. will be doing reset real time back into your Active Directory. So yes, we'll never be storing passwords ever within QuickLaunch. We do have another question. Do we have integrations with Banner9? Yes, you have many options. You can do CAS, you can do SAML. So pretty much Banner9, starting from App Navigator to admin pages, we're very familiar with Banner, and 99.9% of our institutions typically are Banner institutions, Ellucian being a big player. So yes, we do have all those connectors available out of the box, and you don't need Ellucian support. We are the one who will be doing these integrations for you. All right. There's a follow-up question. Do we need ethos? No, you do not. And folks, let me make it really clear. QuickLaunch itself is identity provider, so you don't need ethos. Most importantly, you also don't need your existing CAS and SHIB and ADFS and Shibboleth environments. We are the one-stop identity provider for you. So this would certainly help you divest. Why do you need to maintain, manage ethos versions and CAS versions if we can provide you all those services up in the cloud? So yes, we do have all that available. I do see another question. Do we have features like biometric for multi-factor? That's a great question. And again, in last many years, this request has not come in. We would love to partner with you. Currently, as I stated, we have security questions, email, SMS, YubiKey. In next month or so, we're also launching mobile app push notification just to further streamline and provide easy access to the students. And then we're also launching Call Me. So if you feel you need the biometric integrations, we can certainly work with you and get those going as well. As a matter of fact, we've been evaluating quite a few companies like BioKeys and all to identify who fits the bill, because at the end of the day, we want to make it cost inexpensive as well as secure for you. Any other questions from the attendees who have joined today's webinar presentation? We're just going to wait for 30 more seconds in case if there are any other questions. There's another question, what is the pricing? What we're going to do is, I would really appreciate if you could write to info@quicklaunchsso.com. Let's schedule a one-on-one meeting with you and tell you the pricing. And if you go to our website as well, the prices are there. So we typically start all in at a $10 per user per year list price, which includes whole 9 yards, starting from SSO, identity, password reset, multi-factor, and most importantly, automated provisioning. So that's our list price. Again, I'll be happy to work with each one of you, understand your existing identity landscape, and see what discounts can be offered to you to get you all rolling on the platform. But from a list price, we're $10 per user per year, all in. I hope that answers your question. Any other questions, folks? All right, I feel there are no other questions. What we're going to do is we're going to looking at wrapping up the meeting. I would like to again thank each one of you for taking our time. We hope this webinar was insightful. We'll be sending the webinar recording to each one of you. Again, feel free to go to QuickLaunchSSO.com and start your trial now, which is available forever. And you can leverage, test, and once you feel confident, we believe in de-risking your investment, and you got to feel confident about product making sense. So please configure it, test it. If you get stuck somewhere, do not hesitate. Again, send us a notification at info@quicklaunchsso.com, and we shall be happy to help you. Thank you, everyone. This is QuickLaunch team signing off. You all have great rest of the day. Bye-bye.